We have people sleeping in abandoned homes. We have people sleeping on back porches. We have people sleeping in tents behind Hannaford. We have people sleeping out in this cold that's making us tear up. My name is Rashida Tyler. I've lived in Kingston since I was 5 years old. My family's lived in Kingston since the 1930s. I've grown up experiencing housing instability, and so it's been something that's been a part of my life, and I've always wanted to make a change, in my activism and try to make sure that no one else goes through those experiences as well. And right now, we're seeing a rapid gentrification and push out of the people who have lived here for a very long time and have nowhere else to go. If you are evicted from this neighborhood, you're not likely going to find an apartment with a comparable rent or price in the city of Kingston. And if you don't have anywhere else to go, then the shelter is most likely to be full because it's only 21 beds, and there's no motels in the city of Kingston that are able to take or have the same rates that the King's Inn did. So you're most likely going to be evicted from the city of Kingston, pushed out. So a group of us got together last May, and we started working on what housing solutions were available out there. Non-congregate housing, or housing that has the ability for people to separate themselves, was the top priority. We started talking to the county. We started talking to organizations that are in Kingston who do housing, and we were trying to find the right option. And tiny homes came up. A lot of communities, especially out west, were using tiny homes as a way to do non-congregate housing because they're quickly they're able to be assembled quickly. They're able to be placed without a lot of foundation work. So basically, if you were to put a building or build a structure, it takes months sometimes to do that. And so we really wanted to respond to the emergency quite quickly. So we wanted to make sure that we try to stay in the city of Kingston. We are on the site of the former King's Inn Hotel, and it was actually demolished in 2011 to make way for the beautiful vacant lot that we currently are standing in. This was actually an area of the city where people who were poor and didn't have any resources could go. The city was supposed to kick in the land, which was, really a great partnership between the community and the city. At this point, I can't really see where our government has done anything for the homeless during this pandemic. We're in an emergency, but the purpose and intent of the tiny homes, it was to actually provide housing for people even before winter. So this is something that's been delayed and delayed. Every time we try to move forward, there's a process block that people that has been thrown up in our way to try to prevent that. In the process, that it was almost forgotten that we had selected this site. And that wasn't something that, again, had been discussed. But it wasn't just that he had, made the plan for workforce housing, which is going to probably take around 5 years to complete. It was the fact that he wanted to immediately try to transfer this land into a private nonprofit entity, or LLC, that the city has, in which he was the head of it. It made me disappointed in that action. Because the purpose of this is really to provide for the people that the city hasn't provided for in a very long time. So one of the other reasons that workforce housing doesn't really work is the fact that it's not affordable housing. It's a misnomer, and people think that it's going to be able to provide housing for the single mother who works at Hannaford or ShopRite or any of our other retail establishments here in the area, and it's not the case. You can have rents up to $3,500 or more, and as long as you have a job to support that, it's workforce housing. and the fact that people are choosing between freezing to death or COVID, that is something that we can't get around, and the fact that we have the money, we won the $200,000 to do this, there's really no reason that we shouldn't be, building them right now. you know Kingston has a real opportunity to show that it's a city that's not only, a cool city or a hip city, it's also a city that cares. It's also a city that wants to provide for everybody who resides in it. If you had $200,000 to procure tiny homes that the team is going to fly in and assemble for you, or you can get community members to take a part of and assemble, and you could have at least home for at least 30 people, like in a week's time, why wouldn't you do it? It's going to take the community. It's going to take the community standing up. It's going to take the community letting Mayor Noble know that tiny homes or this type of non-congregate temporary housing is exactly what we need here in the city of Kingston. We have the land, we have the will. The time is now. Let's get it done.